Hello, friends. It's the Sage and the Mouse Humility and Gratitude in Life and Leadership. 1. Retelling the fable. In a dense, sun dappled forest, where sunlight filtered through the high canopy and birds sang songs that echoed across the riverbeds, there lived a wise and compassionate sage. Known for his calm demeanor and deep meditation, he spent his days in prayer, study, and acts of kindness. The animals of the forest respected him, sensing the purity of his heart and the strength of his spiritual discipline. One day, as the sage sat quietly under a large banyan tree, he noticed a majestic vulture swoop down, clutching a tiny, terrified mouse in its talons. The mouse squeaked helplessly, struggling for its life. Moved by compassion, the ascetic rose slowly and extended his hands. In a swift, gentle motion, he freed the mouse from the vulture's grip, saving it from imminent death. The mouse, trembling yet alive, bowed deeply before the sage. "Thank you, great sage," it squeaked, its voice quivering with gratitude, but fear lingered in its eyes. "I am so small and weak," the mouse admitted. "I fear cats, dogs, and even stronger animals than I. Could you help me?" The sage, smiling, said, "Very well, little one. I will grant you strength according to your fears." And with a gentle touch, he transformed the mouse into a small, playful kitten. As the kitten explored the forest, its fears shifted. Now, the once timid mouse feared dogs. Again, it ran to the sage, trembling. "Please, great sage," it begged, "I fear the dogs. Can you make me stronger?" The sage, in his infinite compassion, transformed it into a powerful dog. Time passed and the dog grew bold, but new fears emerged. Now it trembled at the sight of large tigers. Once more, it sought the ascetic's help. With a nod of understanding, the sage transformed the dog into a magnificent tiger, the ruler of the forest, its roar echoing across the plains. The tiger, now immensely powerful, began to strut through the forest with pride, showing off its dominance. No animal dared challenge it, yet in its newfound arrogance, it began to look down upon the ascetic himself, forgetting the source of its strength. One day, approaching the sage with haughty eyes, it said, "I am the king of all creatures now. Can you return me to the form of a mouse again?" The arrogance and entitlement in its voice were unmistakable. Seeing the tiger's ingratitude and pride, the sage's serene expression hardened slightly. "Your heart is ungrateful," he said firmly. "For your arrogance and lack of gratitude, you shall return to your original form." And with a gentle touch, the tiger shrank back into a small, timid mouse, humbled once again. 2. Moral analysis. Gratitude and humility defeat pride. This story carries timeless lessons about gratitude, humility, and the transient nature of power. Power is not permanent. Just as the mouse became a tiger temporarily, positions of strength, authority, or privilege are temporary. Forgetting one's origins leads to vulnerability. Gratitude is essential. The mouse's transformation into stronger forms illustrates that external power can only be meaningful if paired with humility and recognition of those who help us. Arrogance leads to downfall. The tiger's arrogance, ignoring the ascetic who granted its power, symbolizes how pride and ingratitude invite consequences. Even the mightiest can be humbled. Wisdom and justice. The ascetic represents wisdom, compassion, and fair judgment. He rewards, empowers, and corrects, teaching that intelligent guidance and patience often surpass brute force. 3. Corporate reflections, leadership, hierarchy, and teamwork. The fable resonates strongly in the corporate world, where power dynamics, career growth, and teamwork mirror the transformations of the mouse. A. Leadership and humility. Leaders often rise from humble beginnings, akin to the mouse. Promotion or acquisition of authority is a privilege, not an entitlement. Arrogance or disregard for mentors, colleagues, or subordinates can erode respect and stability. B. Mentorship and guidance. Just as the ascetic empowered the mouse, mentors and managers guide employees, granting tools, opportunities, and confidence. Forgetting or undermining these relationships leads to isolation and setbacks. C. Power and responsibility. Attaining senior positions or power requires responsibility. A leader who misuses authority or becomes overconfident may harm team morale, decision making, and organizational culture. The tiger, forgetting the ascetic, mirrors leaders who disregard the systems, processes, or people that supported their ascent. D. The risks of arrogance. Overconfidence in corporate settings can lead to poor decisions. Leaders who fail to consult experts, ignore feedback, or dismiss warnings risk creating failures that might have been avoidable. E. Team recognition and collaboration. Empowerment is most effective when coupled with gratitude and recognition. Employees and teams thrive when leaders acknowledge contributions and maintain a culture of respect and inclusivity. F. Innovation and strategic thinking. Like the ascetic, successful leadership requires foresight, empowering employees in stages, gradually increasing responsibilities, and balancing growth with guidance ensures sustainable success. 4. Personal reflections, life lessons from the mouse and the tiger. On an individual level, the fable offers practical insights. A. Remembering one's roots. No matter how far one climbs in life, it is essential to remember the people, circumstances, and lessons that facilitated growth. Ignoring this can lead to arrogance and alienation. B. Managing ego. Success often inflates ego, like the tiger strutting through the forest. Recognizing that power is transient helps maintain balance and humility. C. Gratitude and relationships. Being grateful toward mentors, helpers, and supporters maintains strong relationships and ensures continued guidance and support. In contrast, ingratitude can result in isolation or reversal of fortune. D. Navigating challenges with wisdom. Life presents unforeseen challenges, vultures of circumstance. Intelligent, compassionate guidance from mentors, peers, or even life experiences can transform vulnerability into strength. E. Self reflection and learning. Regular self assessment helps prevent the arrogance seen in the tiger. Recognizing one's limits, understanding sources of success, and practicing humility safeguard long term growth. 5. Corporate analogies and strategic lessons. Promotion and mentorship. Employees often start in junior roles, like the mouse, and are empowered gradually. Organizations must ensure leaders recognize and appreciate the mentors, peers, and processes that enabled growth. Leadership training. Leaders must balance authority with humility, avoiding the pitfalls of overconfidence or disregard for those who provided foundational support. Team empowerment. Just as the ascetic gradually strengthened the mouse, managers should incrementally entrust responsibilities to develop skills while monitoring growth to prevent mistakes. Crisis and risk management. Arrogance blinds decision makers. Recognizing risks, listening to feedback, and maintaining gratitude for collective effort ensures resilience. Culture of respect. A corporate culture that values every contributor, from interns to executives, ensures sustainable growth and prevents the destructive arrogance symbolized by the tiger. 6. Personal life applications. Career advancement. Never forget colleagues, mentors, or family who provided support during early struggles. Ignoring them is equivalent to the tiger forgetting the ascetic, risking both relationships and guidance. Financial and personal decisions. Wise counsel, like the ascetic's guidance, strengthens decision making. Overconfidence or failure to acknowledge advice may lead to loss or misjudgment. Conflict resolution. Respond to challenges with a balance of courage and humility. Avoid impulsive pride. Instead, consider guidance and perspective from trusted sources. Social awareness, power, and influence must be wielded responsibly, remembering the fragile foundations upon which they are built. 7. Integrating lessons for life and work. The story of the sage and the mouse offers universal guidance, humility and power. Ascension, be it career, wealth, or personal success, requires humility. Pride invites reversal. Gratitude and recognition, acknowledging those who support us, ensures continued harmony, collaboration, and guidance. Wise decision making, incremental empowerment, foresight, and strategic thought prevent overreach and arrogance. Ego management. Recognize that authority and power are temporary. Maintain groundedness in character, ethics, and relationships. Learning from experience, life's challenges, mentors, and even rivals are opportunities for reflection and growth. 8. Conclusion: Gratitude and wisdom over arrogance. In the forests of life, every individual encounters moments of power, fear, and temptation. The fable illustrates that strength without gratitude becomes vulnerability, and arrogance invites downfall. Just as the mouse turned tiger was humbled by its own lack of gratitude, individuals and leaders must remember their roots, honor guidance, and maintain humility. Whether in corporate corridors or personal journeys, life presents opportunities to rise and tests of character to navigate. Recognizing that empowerment is a gift, not an entitlement, allows one to wield influence wisely and ethically. Ultimately, the lesson is timeless. Never forget those who empower you, exercise gratitude in your rise, and temper strength with humility. For without this awareness, even the mightiest tiger may return to the vulnerability of a humble mouse. Yours, Ravishankar Avadhanam.